if I had to choose just one lens to take with me on my S5, let's say to a professional shoot, although you should never go with just one lens and one camera to a professional shoot. Anyway, if I had to, this may well be it. Well, the Sigma 24-70 F2.8 DG DN Mark II art lens. Very interesting. Let's see what this brings to the party that the previous very good lens didn't. Yeah, let's crack on. Instructions and I guess warranty. Usual Sigma goodness. Let me just say, if you've not watched any of my Sigma videos before, I always appreciate the cases. I know it's a bigger one, but I still would have liked a belt loop there. We do have, of course, the more sensible, I guess, strap loops. We'll look at that in a moment. I assume in here is the strap. In fact, there's nothing else but the strap in there. But there you go, strap, so that's fine. Let's get that out of the way and get this lovely bag back in place. Nice discreet little Sigma logo there. Probably can't even see that. Right, so well packaged. So well packaged. Let's get that out of the way. We've got the usual hood. Nice, solid bit of kit. It's nice. Let's liberate the lens. Right, oh, that's a solid bit of kit. That is really something. 82mm filter thread. Of course, we're looking at this pre-release. I'll put the video out on release, of course, hopefully. That is a solid bit of kit. Let's get the hood on, see how she fares. Do like that little release there. Definitely feels like the pro bit of kit that you'd expect. Manual focus ring, fine. Nothing that I'm really too worried about. We've got some nice AFL buttons, I believe, there. A lock there, which I think more of a soft lock for when you're at the widest. Let's unlock it and see how it fares. It's not going anywhere. And it's not that big, really, is it? You know, at 70, 24-70, it's not a huge throw, but it's fine. Now, one of the new features, and we've got a lock for it as well, is the aperture ring. Nice and clicky with the A there. That is very nice and clearly a very worthy upgrade over the previous version. Now, the lens is dust and splash resistant, so only good in light rain, but there you go. It's 90 grams lighter than the Mark I version, so it comes in at 745 grams. Closest focus distance at the wide end, 17 centimeters, and 34 at the telly. That's better than the Mark I. 1:4 magnification at the telly and 1:2.7 at the wide. Slightly better than the Mark I II. So yeah, I mean that Mark I is an absolutely quality lens, but some of you will probably appreciate more the aperturing and the slight differences with the weight being, did I already say? I think I said 90 grams lighter. It is a little bit smaller. The hood now feels rather large, to be fair. But yeah, pro bit of kit. I'm loving, especially that, he said. That's to lock when you're in A mode. That's nice though, although to be fair, I don't use A mode. So, maybe you do. And there's a nice bit of distance between 22 and A. I'll be closer to the 2.8-4 range in most of my work. But yeah, alas, we don't have time to take this on a wedding this year. It hasn't quite lined up as it did when I tested the Mark 1, so it's going to be a lot more random. You know how we like to test these things, so yeah. When it comes to build and handling, I think the upgrade is worthwhile because it adds a lot of practical functionality. One thing we didn't mention in the close-up overview is the switch to select clicked or declicked aperturing. It's a very welcome addition for hybrid shooters and works perfectly. The only thing missing perhaps is OIS, but the S5 has excellent IBIS, so you know it's understandable that that's been left out, as I think most of the bodies it will be used with have IBIS. Also, it's 90 grams lighter than the Mark 1. It's still pretty heavy and bulky, of course. There's no internal zoom, no manual focus clutch. I can live without those things, so build and handling wise, no real complaints. Sharpness is very good to excellent. Color rendering, very good. A little earthy, that's my description, but still very pleasant with my S5 sensor. Contrast, excellent, and distortion is minimal. I'm seeing very light vignetting wide open, but that disappears as soon as you go to 3.2. Ghosting and flare, both very well controlled. And chromatic aberration, also an absolute non-issue. Bokeh, to me, is very pleasing. This is a lens that's happy wide open as well as stop down. I absolutely love the image quality. The lens could easily work as my main workhorse on the S5. In fact, I did use it for a few jobs, which I can't put online, annoyingly, and it didn't miss a beat. Is it worth the extra, seeing as the Mark 1 is around £979 and this is starting at £1,179? Well, the IQ is even better than the already excellent Mark 1. The aperturing, very welcome. The AFL buttons work perfectly. It's not as small and light as you might hope, but it is 7% smaller and 10% lighter than the first version, so a win is a win. If you're in the market for a zoom workhorse and don't want to spend nearly £2,000, then this is the one. Now, if you're on more of a budget or you need something lighter, then maybe look at the 28-70. I do own the Panasonic 20-60, which I hadn't planned on mentioning, but I need to give that a little shout out if you're on a lower budget and don't need a fast pro lens. That is still a cracking lens. Check out the video I made about that, or let us know what you think about it. Anyway, I do own a bunch of Panasonic lenses, but I love what Sigma do for L mounts, and this is another quality release. Yeah. Let us know what you think once you've had your hands on it, and I'll see you soon.